This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL, everybody. It is Friday, April 10th. We made it. It's Friday. I am Tori. I'm holding down the fort here in the studio. My hair is doing some funky things, so we're just going to go with it today, all right? My co-hosts are looking good. They are safe and staying inside, but two of them are joining me right now. It's Al and Lindsay, everybody. Good to see you. I don't know why I'm clapping.
Hey.
Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Al, I got to point out something. Your biceps are taking over the screen. Have you been working out?
There's nothing to do in the house. I'm acting like I'm in the county for 90 days.
You're in the yard.
Looking good, Al.
Looking good. And Lindsay, you look like Steve Jobs on the best day, so you look fantastic today.
Thank you.
Thank you. It is Good Friday, and all across the country, the faithful are observing from home to keep from spreading the coronavirus. They're also trying to figure out what to do about Easter in the age of social distancing. Joel Osteen and his Houston area megachurch will stream its service with a star-studded lineup, including performances by Kanye West, Mariah Carey, and my fave, Tyler Perry. He will also be there. Opera singer Andrea Bocelli is live streaming a show called Music for Hope from Milan. Check out his YouTube channel to tune in. And the Pope is live streaming Mass this Sunday from St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City, also on YouTube. But in a number of states, lawmakers have deemed in-person services essential. So some congregants in Texas, Florida, Kansas, they can still gather together to worship. I want to know, Lindsay, you have 18 million cute little nieces and nephews. Are you doing an egg hunt, a virtual egg hunt? Will there be hunting for eggs? I'm a Jew. I've never done this.
I did a lot of research on virtual egg hunts, and there's like this idea that all the adults get on like a Zoom call, hide the eggs in the same places in their house, and then have the kids go find them. So I thought that that was a really cool idea and a fun way to do it. So I got to try to get everybody together. That's
really cute. Al, will you and your lady friend, will you be egg hunting? Or hunting eggs?
We will not. I mean, if it's one thing that, like, you know, is kind of good about me being quarantined, is that I can't have access to those, to the chocolate eggs with peanut butter inside them. Every year I eat so many that I get sick, and then I have to then reevaluate everything I've done with my life, and then I forget I did that and then do it again the next year. So this might be a good thing for me.
There you go. All right, so no chocolate with peanut butter eggs. I Zoomed Passover with my family, and we hid the afikomen, the piece of matzah, but they just put it in one of the Zoom frames, and we had to find it. It really was not that exciting. But good Passover, good Seder too.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. All across the country, states are dealing with coronavirus, though, in different ways. Now, in Hawaii, officials have now asked people not to visit. Travel is way down. Hawaii normally sees 30,000 visitors a day, and on Wednesday, only 160 people reportedly travel there. Now, in Utah, the governor issued an order requiring people entering the state to actually disclose their travel plans. This is to help trace potential cases. Now, in a Boston suburb, they're setting up one-way sidewalks to help residents keep 6 feet apart. And Chicago's Mayor Lori Lightfoot put a 9 p.m. curfew on liquor sales. This is to help stop a spike in gun violence in Chicago. But you've got to check out what the Prime Minister of St. Martin, bless her, told the residents of that Caribbean island. She's getting praise for being super blunt. I thought it was fantastic. See what you think. Al, Lindsay, we'll check in with you after this.
Simply stop moving. If you do not have the type of bread you like in your house, eat crackers. If you do not have bread, eat cereal. Eat oats. Sardines. You're supposed to have a 2-week supply for hurricane. And at the beginning of this, I said, prepare your disaster kit as if you would for a hurricane.
Okay, so this woman is like what I need to be more of. Al, you know I have a problem with like confronting things. Do you yay or nay this woman from St. Martin? I wish I knew her name. I'll get her name.
I mean, I'm 100% yay. I think if we'd had somebody that has spoken to our country like this, maybe we could have avoided some of the problems that we've been seeing. Look, this is unpleasant, and I think it needs to be told to everybody that the things that you do are going to be interrupted, not just what somebody else does. Can I still go to church? No. Can I still go to play pickup basketball? No. But on Fridays, I meet up with my book club. You can't do it. You cannot go out. It's really annoying. It's bad for holidays. It's bad for socializing, but this is where we are, and we have to be able to speak frankly about this. And I just don't feel like we have.
I agree. Now, Lindsay, this kind of I've never met your sister, but she seems like the woman from St. Martin. Very clear, concise. Am I right, Susan?
No, and that's what I mean. At this point, it should, no, I'm saying the woman is correct, and my sister will be the same way. It's just very, this virus has brought out the worst in us because it's made people pass away, unfortunately, but it's also brought out the best because people are really doing stuff that doesn't necessarily affect them directly by staying inside, but it affects the greater good. And so I think if people understand that message that you're hurting somebody else that you might love or somebody that you love might love, then people should stay inside. And if somebody has to break it down, you can't run and get an extra cup of sugar.
Right.
Just have no sugar that day. Everything has to be essential.
That's right. No sugar. All right, the wait is finally over. The feds just released, and I've been waiting for these, the photos. They show Lori Loughlin's daughters, Olivia Jade and Isabella, on ERG rowing machines. Feds say the photos were used to scam their way into USC, passing their girls off as rowing recruits when, in fact, they were not athletes. No, they were not. For anyone not following the case, Lori Loughlin and her husband are charged with allegedly paying $500,000 as part of the college admissions scandal. Now the alleged mastermind of the scheme, Rick Singer, asked Lori's husband, Massimo Giannulli, to get the photos, writing in an email, quote, "It would probably help to get a picture with her on an ERG in workout clothes, like a real athlete too." To which Massimo responded, "Fantastic, we'll get all." Wow. That's called a smoking gun, people. Lori and her husband have pleaded not guilty and claimed the $500,000 they paid were a legitimate donation. I'm going to give you each 15 seconds to tell me what you would say is the prosecution in this case after seeing these pictures. Al, you begin.
All right, if I'm the prosecutor, I'm saying, hey, good news, Lori and Massimo. I'm going to drop the case. The only thing that you have to do is make your daughter be on the rowing team for 4 years. She has to stay on it for the rest of her life until she finishes first. Then the case is dropped.
That's layers. All right, 2 seconds for you, Linz.
If I'm the prosecutor, I'm going to say, this girl does not look very athletic. I'm going to bring Colin in the courtroom and say, that's like me saying he's the fastest runner in Colorado. Come on.
I love it. Alan Lindsay, we'll check back in with you later. Coming up on DBL, Dr. Pyle Coley's Fact or Fiction Friday. She's helping us figure out what's real and what's not coming to the coronavirus. Plus, we're chatting with a remarkable educator who has an important message for all the seniors spending their last year of high school alone at home instead of in school. And as we go to break, I want to leave you with some inspiring music on this Good Friday. This is the new Psalmist Baptist Church Choir, and while they can't sing together in person, they're still lifting us up. Enjoy.
Non-attorney spokesperson.
Welcome back to DBL. We're all about facts, not fear, and of course, providing information to keep you and your loved ones safe. There's so much misinformation, right, about the coronavirus. It floats around, the Advils, the Zincs, the masks. We have Dr. Payal Kohli here. She is an expert. She went to MIT and Harvard. She joins us live again for Fact or Fiction Friday, and she is debunking claims that you, the viewer, you sent in. So let's get started. Looking great in tomato. Really good.
You like my tomato?
I do. I really do. All right, our first one comes from Molly. She reads, could I be more susceptible to getting the virus because I have bad allergies? Fact or fiction?
So what Molly is saying is a possible fact. So we don't have studies yet to prove whether or not this is true. But it's actually something that I've been thinking about a lot too, because I have really bad seasonal allergies. And what experts are saying is that when your body is having allergies, there's excess inflammation in the nose and the throat. And your body is so busy launching an immune attack against pollen that sometimes its effectiveness to fight off viruses can actually go down. And similarly, medicines for allergies like nasal steroids may also increase susceptibility to infection. So we don't know yet for a fact whether or not this is true, but we think it's probably true based on what we know about how inflammation works.
I just learned something. That's fantastic. Good to know. I also have allergies, so you have to be extra careful. Our next piece of information to be debunked comes from Carlos. He says, I heard that tuberculosis vaccine is effective against the coronavirus. I was vaccinated as a child. Does that mean I have some protection against it? And Doc, is this the BCG we're hearing about vaccine?
Tori, this is the BCG vaccine. It's a 100-year-old vaccine. And what they're doing is studying its effectiveness against coronavirus, because we do know, Carlos, that people who get the BCG vaccine have a lower rate of infection from respiratory illnesses.
Whoa.
We also know that in countries where people get the BCG vaccine, they're less likely to die from COVID. So we think that it may have some efficacy against COVID, but that's actually currently being studied in clinical trials in some of the developing countries where healthcare workers and elderly people are being given the BCG vaccine to see if it helps against COVID.
If we've already gotten the BCG, like the TB vaccine, would we get it again now, do you think, or if we had it, we're done?
Probably not. I mean, once you have it, your immunity lasts for quite a while with that vaccine, but you may need a booster depending on what your immune system has done.
It's like my booster for me sitting at this seat. I can't reach the ground. Finally, Larry wants to know if the claim that men with beards should save to stay healthier, is that true? Oh, to shave, not save, excuse me.
So this is actually
should
a
they
fact.
shave? Yeah.
And this is actually a fact, and I hope that Al is listening, because I know he's been staying home and growing the beard and the mustache there. And the CDC has actually given some guidelines, some very specific guidelines of what types of beards can actually compromise the fit of protective equipment like respirators. So there's two reasons that a beard may increase your risk slightly. One is because the respirator or the mask doesn't fit your face as closely because you got all this facial hair in the way. And the second is because that beard is almost like a Velcro trap for all the dust and particles and respiratory droplets and all the other things that are out there. And so the hygiene on the face may actually be a little bit less if you have a beard or facial hair. So the CDC says you can have a little pencil mustache, you can have a little flavor saver, but what Al's got going on, which is that whole chin curtain and the mustache, you probably got to get rid of this, Al, in order to be safe.
The flavor saver is probably the best thing you have ever said, Dr. Kohli. I want to get to your silver lining, even though for me that was the silver lining. Silver lining l'chaim. Today you want to talk about the crime rate that's going down dramatically in America. Tell us more.
Yeah, so Tori, this is awesome because when all the cops got sick in the NYPD, we thought the crime rate would go up, but it's actually gone down because the criminals are social distancing just like the rest of us. So that to me was great news and it made me laugh.
Criminals, we appreciate that. Please keep everyone safe. Thank you, Dr. Kohli. As always, thank you, thank you, thank you. You return on Monday. If you have a question about coronavirus you want answered, write in. You can also email info@dailyblastlab.com. Of course, our social media pages too. There is no panic here at DBL. We just have prevention, precautions, and a shoulder shrug. We'll be right back. Welcome back to DBL. Most of us can remember our senior year, going to prom, graduation, and the ability to close that chapter in our lives. It really was good closure. But the reality is, because of the coronavirus, the class of 2020 will end their school year alone at home. So Louisiana Teacher of the Year, Chris Deere, wrote an open letter to this year's senior class, and Al recently sat down with him to talk about his powerful message. Take a look.
Thank you, Chris Deere, for joining us here on DBL. First of all, Chris, as a former middle school teacher, I want to give you a big shout out. I taught for 5 years and never sniffed becoming Teacher of the Year, and you did it, so congratulations on that.
I appreciate that, and thank you so much for having me.
Let's talk about the speech that you gave to your seniors. You know, 2020, you told them that this is supposed to be their year, but that was taken from them because of the coronavirus pandemic. What did you mean by that, and why did you feel like you needed to tell that to them?
Sure. What I meant by that was this is their year where they're supposed to embrace all these milestones, and unfortunately, that all came to a halt. And so what I was trying to convey is that, you know, this was supposed to be your year. It was taken from you, and it's not fair. I felt really bad for them, and this is, you know, supposed to be their year before they go off into that unknown and uncertain future. So it really kind of hit me pretty hard.
Well, unfortunately, Chris, you have experience with natural disasters or just disasters in general. You dealt with Katrina. How would the experience of, you know, going through what you did with Katrina compare to what these kids are dealing with this pandemic?
Yeah, so there are a lot of similarities there. I remember my second week of my senior year, we were leaving on a Friday, and there was a hurricane approaching. We didn't even know the name. And yeah, we lost a lot of our senior year. So when my students came to me and they had those same thoughts, what's gonna happen to our senior year, I remember a lot of those thoughts and memories kind of rushing back to me. And I think that experience helped inform my decision to write the letter and show the students that I can relate, and it's not a good feeling.
And let's keep with that notion of talking about the kids. We're talking a lot as adults. What are your students saying to you?
They're keeping their head up. They might be disillusioned, they might be upset, but I have students who are doing amazing things, whether it's painting to try to get through it. There's many stories. There's a particular student from Chalmette High, where I teach right outside of New Orleans, of a student who is making masks and distributing them to healthcare workers and essential workers. So as tough as it is, I have to say that there's so many students that are doing incredible things throughout all of this.
That's well said, and I want to talk to you about your letter and this last question I have for you. You tell your students that this may not have been the year that they hoped. I'm sure for almost all of them, it isn't what they hoped or expected, but you expect them to go on and persevere and create. What did you mean when you told them that you knew that this wasn't what they could have hoped for, but to still be optimistic?
Essentially what I was saying was, it's not the year they envisioned, but I still have faith and hope in this generation that they're going to make the best of their situation and do what they can to try to find solace in ways that they might have never envisioned. But I have confidence in this generation. It's a resilient generation. It's a different generation.
DBL Nation, there's a lot of teachers out there working hard like Mr. Deere. He's Teacher of the Year, and he's giving his message to you guys. We just want to say thank you for watching, and we'll be right back.
Promotional consideration.
DBL, there is a lot of uncertainty right now when it comes to travel plans or big events like weddings. Jennifer Lopez and Alex Rodriguez, it's J-Lo and A-Rod, you know, just announced they're putting their wedding on hold. The couple got engaged last March. So here's what you need to know about changing or canceling plans in today's DBL Drive, sponsored by who, y'all?
Car Shield.
Good job, everybody. Check the company policy. Most major airlines and hotels have dropped cancellation fees. Check to see if you can receive a credit. Companies like Airbnb are allowing customers to rebook at a later date free of charge. Now, if a refund isn't possible, wait till the week companies become more flexible as the departure date approaches. For peace of mind, get an auto protection plan with CarShield. CarShield protects their members from the high cost of auto repairs. Call 1-800-505-9619 for a free quote. Al, one day we're going to be able to CarShield again. And what's the name of your car again? Big Bertha? No, Gina.
Gina. Come on, you know this. You got to respect
Gina.
her.
I'm sorry. I thought it was Big Bertha. Lindsay, do you have a name?
Man, no. You put me on the spot. I never thought about it. I got to think. That'll be my task for the weekend.
I need a name by Monday. Everyone stay safe. Have a great weekend. We will all see you Monday, same time, same place. Remember, we don't know what uphill battle we're all facing, so be good to each other, stay kind to each other, stay sane, and stay laughing. We'll see you next time. Bye, guys.